Hey nurse family, Nurse Erica here. I hope that wherever you are watching this video, you're happy, you're healthy, you're safe, and you're looking forward to a brand new semester in nursing school. I'm here in my brand new office. If you haven't already, go ahead and watch the video that I created of my little video office transformation to create more nursing videos just for you guys. So let's get started. I don't know about you all, but this is typically my favorite part of the semester. You would think that it would be the end. Usually by the end, I'm exhausted. I'm ready for it to be over. The beginning of the semester is the most exciting time for me. I get really excited about going shopping and getting supplies and starting a new semester. So I wanted to give you some of my tips of how I used to get ready for nursing school and also how I get ready now because I'm teaching full time. It's pretty similar. All right. So tip number one, you must get organized. And I think that sounds very basic, but it means different things for different people. So for example, if you're someone who likes to use the computer, you might want to go into your computer, start going through your folders, through previous courses, organizing all of those files. In nursing, nothing really goes to the garbage when you're done with the course. You still want to keep it because remember, we still have the boards to pass. So make sure that you're organizing those files in places where you can find them. And what I want you to do for this semester is to create very clear folders where everything will have its place, right? If you've ever watched any of those decluttering shows or organization shows, you see that they say everything needs to have a place. And that's the same thing here. So for example, I would create a folder that says Spring 2021. And then within that folder, I will have a folder for every nursing course I'm taking. So that would include a folder for psych, a folder for peds, a folder for OB. You get the picture, right? Within that folder, so for example, if I was in my med-surg folder, I personally like to group my documents by tests. So test 1, test 2, test 3, clinicals, okay? And so you want to have a folder for each thing. This way, when you're looking for things, it's very easy for you to find it. Now, if anybody has any tips on how they organize documents on their computer, I would love to hear it. As with anything else that I'm talking about today, as nursing students, maybe some of these tips do or don't apply to you. So please go ahead and add what your tips and tricks are on my comments. I'm sure they will be very helpful to other students. Now, I personally love to use a computer, but in terms of documentation and studying and things like that, I like to have the hard copy. I like to have the papers. So I'm going to show you how I used to organize my papers and how I still do. So for clinical, I had a folder, a multi-folder. What would this be called? A pocket folder? I can't remember what these are called. Legal folders. I don't know. Give me put it in the comment box. I don't see it here and I can't remember what it's called. But if you notice that this has multiple tabs in it, and so you can label it. So for example, in clinical, we used to have to hand in concept maps every night. Medication cards. Some people do medication cards. We had it all on one sheet, but same idea, indication, side effects, things like that. We used to have a QSIN, situational awareness, and then we also had a rapid assessment. And so, and our full physical assessment. So you notice that's a lot of documents. I would have one tab with just those documents blank. Okay, so I'd have those papers blank so that if I messed up or I needed an extra one, I'd have it there. And then I would kind of group my clinical documents by week. This way, when your clinical instructor is asking you for papers, you're not looking through a million different things. I know you guys, I've seen you. You can never find the paper you're looking for. So this is a great way to do that. Now, in terms of coursework, again, you might want to use the computer, but I personally like to print everything out so that I could write on it. So notice here, I have my calendar. So I went into the computer, created my calendar, and then I put it right in the front of the binder. And every month I would change it. Okay. This is actually from a course that I taught a couple years ago, Intro to Professional Nursing Concepts. And I actually would also organize my PowerPoints when I taught the same way as when I was in nursing school. I would print out my PowerPoints and I would have them organized by test. And if you watch my How to Succeed on Your Nursing Exam video, you'll see that I like to create them by test. I divide my documents by test because if I maybe didn't perform well on my first test, it's very easy for me to go ahead and just know exactly what it was that was on my first test. And that's where I would start if I'm studying for my final. Okay, so tip number 1 is get organized. We already talked about organizing our documents on the computer if that's what we use. I showed you the paper version. The other thing is that calendar. Let's jump into that. So many of you will still purchase planners, which I love. I love a good planner. Now, I'm not very fancy. I don't do all the highlighting and all the different stickers and stuff like that, but I love to have everything in a planner where I can see everything. Now, if you talk to somebody like my husband, he thinks planners are ridiculous. He has everything on his computer. So he has Outlook for his job. And on his Outlook, he has his calendar, which also syncs up to his phone and his computer, and everything is in one place. So, you just have to kind of know the kind of person that you are, and you might not know. So half of that is just figuring it out. Do you feel better on the computer? Do you feel better with paper docs? And feel free, again, to tell me what you prefer in the comments. All right, so we talked about planners, folders, notebooks, using the online calendar. I also do use my online calendar, although I love my planner, because it allows me to set up alerts on my cell phone. So I'll put an alert. So if I know that I have an assignment or something coming up next week, I might want to put an alert a week before so that I can start to prepare and make sure I'm on time. So don't forget about that option. The next thing I would say is if your professor has already uploaded their syllabi and their PowerPoints, go ahead and download that and start working on it. So your syllabus is your Bible. Your syllabus is basically your guide to what's expected of you for the semester. So you want to go into the syllabus, see what books are required of you, see what topics you're going to be covering, and if the PowerPoints are up, go ahead and download those and start using that as your guide to know what it is that you should be studying, okay? In order to study, you're going to need your books, right? So the next thing you're going to want to do is order your textbooks as soon as possible. I know a lot of the schools now require that you order an ebook. So if that's something that you feel comfortable with, go ahead and do that. The benefit of the ebooks is that they often come with online resources. So I know that there's CoursePoint, there's ATI, and all of these online resources that are really helpful, guys. They summarize the work. It's they have test questions, they have skills tutorial videos. So please take advantage of those. And that's something that you could do before you start class to kind of just get the gist of what you're going to be learning in class. Okay. Now, if you're like me, I like to have my hard copy. If I showed you my drawers behind me, it's kind of embarrassing because I still have my textbooks from nursing school, and I know some of them are outdated, but I personally like to go into a textbook, highlight, write on it, put my sticky notes on it. So my suggestion is, well, if your school offers that option, go ahead and purchase that. But if your school requires you to have the ebook, I suggest going online if you still want the hard copy and looking for used or books that you can borrow. Okay. I used to use half.com, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and sometimes I would borrow books or purchase them used. I prefer to purchase them used if I could, just because if you borrow it, then you're going to have to return it. You might need that book for the future. So I'd rather just have it, even if it's like one edition older. And again, this is complementing your ebook that you're required to buy, okay? If you are not required to buy an ebook and you're able to get the textbook, especially for your main nursing courses, I do suggest buying the book. It could be used, but it should be, you should buy it because you're going to need it again. And it should also be the current edition, because otherwise it just gets really confusing. We're trying to keep up. Next thing I want to suggest is creating an environment that you feel motivated to study in. So, for example, when I was in nursing school, I didn't really do that. I kind of just studied in my living room, in my bedroom, in the kitchen, in my dorm, anywhere, right? And I noticed that that would often lead me to falling asleep. So eventually I had to figure out, okay, well, how could I stay up, stay motivated, and, really focus? And for me, that option was going to Starbucks, ordering a hot chocolate and a cookie or a muffin, and spending enough time there. So I would spend a couple hours, sometimes if I had a test coming up, like, 5 hours, 6 hours in Starbucks studying. The one benefit for me was that I had people coming in and out, so it was enough to distract me and keep me awake, but I was able to also focus. Now with COVID, if you're watching this and we're still in COVID land, which right now it's January 2021, so we're in the thick of it, you might not be able to go to... That's nice. If you're watching this and you're still in COVID land, right now it's January 2021, so we're definitely still in the thick of it. It might not be possible for you to go to a coffee shop or a library to study. So my suggestion is create a space in your room, in your living room, anywhere that can just be a safe place for you to study. What I did recently, I just bought some wallpaper on Amazon, and I just found some things that I had in my old office, and I just decorated. I got myself a new desk. And honestly, since I've had this office, it really makes me more motivated to want to get work done at my computer. I'm less lazy about it, or I'm procrastinating a little bit less. And so you want to create a space that's going to be helpful to motivate you. Okay. All right. So the next thing is it's really important. So we all know, especially if this is not your first semester of nursing school, you know that nursing school can be very demanding. It could be very stressful, okay? And it can challenge you in ways that you weren't expecting. And so it's very important now that you start to form healthy habits, okay? Healthy ways of relieving that stress. Your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health are all important while you're in nursing school and when you become a nurse, okay? And so I want to encourage you to create healthy habits from now, so that when the semester starts and things start to get really tough, you have that strong, that you basically have that habit of, okay, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I'm going to do is for 10 minutes, I'm going to just sit here and meditate, or I'm going to sit here and say some positive affirmations, or I'm going to sit here and pray. For me, what helps me most is exercise and dance. And so I've noticed over the last couple months, especially during quarantine, I've noticed that if I'm not working out, if I'm not exercising and having that outlet to relieve my stress, I notice that I have less tolerance for things, right? And so while you're in nursing school, it's really important that you still keep those healthy habits. So it can be exercise, dance, prayer, walking, running, swimming, basically anything that is allowing you to kind of relieve that stress. Talking to someone, talking to other people, like-minded people that are going through the same thing, which leads me to my next tip, okay? When you're in nursing school, first of all, before even starting your semester, I want you to prepare your friends and family. Let them know that the semester is about to start and that you're not being selfish, but that you're really going to be selective with your time and your energy. Okay. That was something that was really challenging when I was in nursing school. Often my dad would come over and, watch TV and just be talking and distracting. And it was great to have him there, but it was very distracting. Also, I had friends who would invite me places, and then if I didn't go, they would get upset. And so you'll notice that it's really hard to kind of balance the fact that you have people in your life that you want to spend time with and you want to be with, but you also have this goal that you're working on. So get them prepared from now, okay? Let them know now. Along with that, I want to say that it's so important for you to start forming bonds and friendships with people that are on a similar journey. And so when I was in nursing school, I had a lot of friends who were not nursing majors. And that made it really tough for me, okay? Because Thursday and Friday night, when everyone wanted to, hang out and get together, I was supposed to be studying. And so when you have your friends calling you, because their coursework is not, I won't start calling out any majors, but their coursework is not as difficult as yours, that makes it so much more challenging to do the right thing, to stay home and study. So start trying to find friends. It doesn't have to be nursing, but friends that are equally as, their coursework is pretty intense and they need to study and they're motivated and they're focused and they're there for a reason, okay? Honestly, in the lab, I see it all the time. You students will allow people to drag you down because one student is not really into a sim. I have another student who has the knowledge and maybe is into it, but because their buddy is not invested, they start to, regress and not participate or just show a lack of interest. The one thing I want to tell you is that you're on your own journey. So at the end of this, when you become a nurse or not, those people that are here today are not going to be there necessarily. Some of them may be, and those are going to be your real good friends, the good people that, would stick around and gave you the courage and the strength and the motivation and supported you during this journey. And some of them won't. And so you really want to, choose people that are going to either motivate you and bring goodness out of you. But if they're not doing that and they're kind of just, bringing drama, bringing problems, or just not motivated or focused, and so then it's making you lose focus, then you're going to have to cut ties with those people or at least minimize interaction. And I'll tell you, that is really tough to do. But at the end of the day, when you succeed or don't succeed, those people are not going to be there. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Along with that, is the people who want to be involved in the drama and the problems. I see that every semester. Every semester, there's a group of students who are, having problems or friction. And the same tip goes, these people will not be there at the end. So do you want to focus on them and waste your energy on them? Or do you want to focus on your goal of being successful in nursing school? Okay. All right, enough of that, enough of the drama. The last thing, my last tip now, like I said in the beginning of this video, in the beginning of the semester, I'm so motivated, I'm studying, I'm focused, I'm, excited. I went shopping, I got my planner, my binders, and all my favorite things. And then towards the middle and the end of the semester, I start to lose focus. And I noticed that about myself. So what I started to do is write all my whys down in my planner or in my book, maybe on my wall in my office, on my computer desktop. Write your whys. Why did you decide to go to nursing school? Why do you want to be a nurse? Or why did you join this organization? So when you start to lose focus and you start to lose the motivation to maybe study as hard as you were in the beginning of the semester, that's going to hopefully help you to refocus, get yourself together so that you can keep going. All right. Along with that goes those healthy habits. Those healthy habits that we talked about are going to help you so that you can stay on target. And the last thing that I'm going to say is we need you guys out there. We need more nurses. We need amazing, compassionate, intelligent, critical thinking nurses out there. So just know that there's this amazing field waiting for you. All right, guys. So those are my tips on how to get ready and for your nursing semester. And like I said, if there's anything that you felt like I missed or you want to add or you want to share, please go ahead and write that down in the comments below. I'm always looking at your comments. I'm always answering. And then just remember that I have several videos on various different skills and tips and topics in nursing. So be sure to check them out on my Nurse Erica page. All right. You could also find me on Instagram at nurse.erica_YouTube. And That's more a little bit laid back, but that is where you'll find new videos that I've posted and things like that. Be sure to subscribe and like this video and hit the notifications bell if you want to be notified about more videos. All right, guys, I wish you guys all the best this semester. Let's kill it. Bye.
Kick. Hey, hey, hey.